Yeah, what's good, people? So this is studio session, the wrap up actually of Mayweather, Canelo, Garcia, Matisse. September 14th has come and gone. Fight party we had was a success. How we fit 30 people in my crib, I have no clue. But shouts to everybody that did come out, and we saw yet another incredible display of artistry by Floyd Money Mayweather as he dismantled the very inexperienced Canelo Alvarez. I picked Floyd to win a close split decision, but man, it's amazing to watch this guy fight. And also, let me add the CJ Ross 114 scorecard is a complete travesty, and that chick should be eliminated from any judging, even spelling bees, dude. Like, get her the fuck off of there, because I didn't give Canelo more than 2 rounds in that fight. I'm really, in a way, disappointed with Canelo. I mean, people are saying, oh, he's still gonna have a great career, this, that, and the third, and I'm really on the fence about that, because not to say that he's just gonna plummet from here. I'm not saying that, but I just think, like, going into the fight, man, right from rounds 2 and on, and I was watching this fight. I mean, obviously with 30 people, but me and my man Jamal were just watching this joint. Shouts to Jamal, and we're just sitting there watching it. And by round 2, I knew the fight was over, because the one thing that I said that Canelo needed to implement from the Cotto fight was to cut the ring off on him, and he didn't. And that was key. That was key in this fight. And he really didn't establish a jab. It almost looked like Canelo thought that his size and his strength was gonna overpower Floyd. But look, man, I think in this case as well with Floyd, I think it was a situation that we didn't know until the fight happened whether or not the 4-month span of when the last time he fought, being that he hadn't done that since like 2003, or it might have been 2007. No, it was 2003, because the De La Hoya and Hatton fight were like 6 months apart. So I was thinking, like, this can go one or two ways. Floyd, can get, a little, I don't want to say rusty, but, the age might start to show up, or he could be sharper than ever. And he was sharper than ever in this fight, man. I mean, he really looked better than he has even from the Guerrero fight. And what's crazy is that he made Canelo look worse than he did Guerrero, and he was fighting him at 154, well, 152. So I just think that just everything, it's like everything Floyd threw, he landed. I mean, for the most part. Canelo landed some shots. Floyd does get hit in fights. It's just the whole thing of consistently hitting Floyd. Nobody's really been able to do that, or obviously to get a win over him. Canelo, I thought he was going to be a lot better prepared for this fight strategically, and I just think from this point, where does Canelo go from here? I mean, I'll tell you where he can go from here. I mean, he's still going to get big fights in that regard, to where, like, I don't think he's going to plummet in that regard. I think he's still going to make millions in his next fight, because I believe his next fight could potentially be Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto has an upcoming fight with Delvin Rodriguez, which I will be attending in Orlando. And if Cotto gets past him, there was an article that was printed out today that Cotto is in really the best position of his career, because he has an option to fight either Sergio Martinez or now Canelo Alvarez, because he's not tied down to either network, and he's not tied down to either promoter. I mean, he's doing business with Top Rank, but I was actually trying to find out if he signed an extension, but part of me is thinking, like, why would he do that? He wants to be able to, because I'm pretty sure he was watching Canelo Mayweather. In the case Canelo loses, he's got a mega fight there, and that's another Mexico Puerto Rico fight, and that could happen Cinco de Mayo weekend next year. So Canelo still has options. I'm just curious as to how mentally he's gonna approach his next fight, whether if he's gonna be a little hesitant, because the history of fighters who fight Floyd Mayweather and they lose, the track record's not that good, contrary to what people say, like, oh, they go on to bigger and better things. I mean, if you consider Dancing with the Stars something along the lines as far as like increasing your stock as a boxer, maybe as an entertainer, but what else is Victor Ortiz really gonna do? Or is Canelo gonna do soap operas now and shit like that? But at the end of the day, man, it's gonna be a big test to see where Canelo is gonna be for his next fight, and he's fighting Miguel Cotto, and Miguel Cotto is a guy who gave Floyd probably his toughest fight in years. That fight to me looks very interesting now, because I was kind of siding with Canelo, and I'm a big Cotto fan, but Canelo looked very flat-footed, looked like a lot slower than I imagined him, and he came in lighter. He came in at 165. And Cotto, and when I look at the size differential, he's not that much bigger. He wasn't that much bigger than Floyd, and I don't think he's that much bigger than Cotto in a sense. I mean, Cotto's a built-up 154, but that fight's interesting, man. That could be an explosive fight. So, Floyd Mayweather, from what reports that are coming out right now, he's potentially going to be fighting Amir Khan if Amir Khan beats Devin Alexander December 7th, which will be for the IBF welterweight title. At this point, man, it was funny. We were talking about this after the fight, a few of us outside. It's almost to the point, man, where like it's gonna be tough for me to dish out another $75 for Floyd Mayweather exhibition matches, because as it stands, man, there is really nobody within the realm of any possible matchup that he can have that is gonna beat him. Danny Garcia he's obviously he beat Lucas Matisse. Obviously I want to talk about that real quick, but there's nobody in the realm where they can meet up at a weight except for one guy, and that's, in my opinion, Gennady Golovkin. But even with that being said, he still has something to prove. Like, in order for that fight to happen, I think he would need to beat Martinez, and then Floyd kind of make this incredible last hurrah and fight for the middleweight title. Something tells me he may still do that, or try to make like a 156 catch weight or something along those lines. And because there's nobody there for him to fight, man. And I think the competitive juice in Floyd is gonna drive him to potentially say, you know what, man, like, what if I do go for the middleweight title? And what if it's Gennady Golovkin in a year and a half? I mean, who knows, man? I mean, Floyd's a small guy to begin with, don't get me wrong, but I think he proved that weight doesn't really matter with him. So if they were to meet at 154, even if, saying that, and Golovkin came down, it could be interesting, because Golovkin said he can make 154, but can he do it a year and a half from now? Who knows? But I would think, like, you know what, if Floyd wants to prove a point and he wants to, I guess, go leaps and bounds further than we thought he would ever go, that would be an ultimate matchup if, they're at those points of their careers. But that's really looking deep into the future. At this point, it looks like he's going to fight Amir Khan. If he beats Devin Alexander December 7th, if Khan loses, and that's a big possibility, I'm not really interested in the Floyd Mayweather Devin Alexander fight. I mean, to be honest with you, I think could be a very boring fight based on the style matchup. But I mean, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, Floyd Mayweather, man. I mean, I think he's really getting to the point now where people are really coming out of their shell, as far as like kind of having those last doubts about him. I mean, I think, and I talked to a lot of people this weekend about it. And, the consensus is, man, like Floyd could be like top 5 greatest of all time, man. I mean, I think we may have to like start admitting that, because this guy is just brilliant in the ring, man, just brilliant. And you also got to give it up to Floyd Mayweather Sr., man, for the game plan, the instructions. I mean, this dude, I mean, for what it's worth, as far as like people thinking, you know, the dude is like, looks like he's on crack and talks like he's in another world sometimes. The dude is one of the most brilliant boxing minds that we have, you know. So combined with Floyd's ability, skill, and intelligence, I mean, it's an unbeatable combo. So we'll see what happens from here. And then, you know, just to speak real quick on Garcia and Matisse, man, I picked Matisse to win this fight, man. But yo, Danny Garcia earned my respect without any shadow of a doubt, man. I mean, he brought out the boxing skills that we really haven't seen from him in fights with Eric Morales and Zab Judah, and even as short as the Mir Khan fight was. But I think this was a statement fight. I think he proved the doubters wrong. He proved me wrong. And I never not liked, I never didn't like Danny Garcia, but in this instance, you know, and I talked to a lot of people that are big boxing fans too, and they thought like what I thought too. Like, as good as Danny is in a lot of departments, the X factor is the power, man. And, you know, he ate some of those shots. So apparently there's going to be a rematch, and, you know, I think that's a good fight too, because, you know, Danny did start to dominate later on, but even from rounds 10, 11, and 12, it looked like Matisse was starting to come back. And then, you know, he got dropped in the 11th, and I think that really just sealed the deal for Danny Garcia. But he put on a hell of a performance. He is not ready for Floyd Mayweather yet, so I think, you know, this is obviously, you know, going to be a really dope rematch, and, you know, it may headline a pay-per-view. Who knows? So that's pretty much it, man. I mean, I had a dope time. Everybody came out for the party, and, you know, the next big fight is Pacquiao Rios. Not sure I'm ordering that, but any case, stay tuned, and I'll keep you posted with anything coming up, maybe with Cotto and whomever he's gonna fight next year. So stay tuned, man, and I'll be back soon. Bye.